We're going to be talking over just this small slate where we're going to have to get a little creative and get a little bit weird because that's what we do on small slates. And I basically haven't adjusted. So for those of you who are true DFS members, the lineups that I had entered this morning, I have not barely adjusted at all, except for a couple guys who weren't in the lineup. I have those are essentially outlines of what I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to try and keep this get out of here by maybe 5:45 or 5:50, so I can just finish editing and maybe making a pivot or two. But my favorite pitchers are, I'll just give some exposures. In my big buy-ins, I'm going to be very heavy on Nola and Gilbert. I'm going to do the weird Kyle Hendricks thing. I know it's ridiculous, but it's a small slate. I want to try to find ways to get different. That's one of them. I am also going to be playing Hauser, and I don't feel amazing about it, but that's what I'm going to do. I am going to be mixing in some Dodgers. The teams that I'm on the most are, I like the Pittsburgh mini stack better than a full stack where I'm not playing Hauser. I'm okay with Milwaukee, but I'm not quite as high on them as it seems like the field might be. I like Toronto. I like the Cubs and Reds a lot. I don't think there's anything unusual there, but I will be filtering in Dodgers and Philadelphia with those teams. That's sort of the outlook of what I'm doing. Nola's my highest owned pitcher. Gilbert's my second highest owned pitcher. Severino is right there with Gilbert, though. And then I'm playing some Mitch White, Hauser, Kendricks, and that's basically how the pitching goes. What's good, my man Peyton Wavy? Good to see you in here. I also think that the Rays, well, I don't find them as like it's a great fun team to stack. I like the Franco, I like Paredes, and I like Harold Ramirez. So I'm kind of into the three-man, but I'm open if you want to go full stack on that one. It's just not what I'm doing personally. I'm totally for it, though, if that's what you guys want to do. So let's see if we can get a few more people in here. Pop in your questions because I'm not going to be here very long, and we want to get through everything we can as much as possible. All right, so please hit the like button too if you don't mind, and we'll talk about some other things. I also am throwing in a few smaller buy-ins, Musgrove lineups. FanDuel, he's actually not going to be that crazy low owned. I know FanDuel's not a little ways off, and that just seems wrong to me to play him in that situation. I am more than happy to eat the chalk at the top rather than if Musgrove really ends up 15 or 20% on DraftKings. I don't think that's a great play. I don't think Garcia is a great play, but we don't have a ton of other options. I threw Ian Anderson into a couple lineups. Considered Brubaker actually. Because I'm trying to just find ways to get a little bit off of the chalk. Catcher, I mean, look, it's very hard not to have a lot of Wilson Contreras, so I do. My next highest owned catcher is going to be Kirk, and further down the board will be Will Smith, but I also like Cal Raleigh and a little mini Seattle stack maybe. I'm not fully stacking much today, just to be honest with you guys. Love Vlad at first and really like Votto and Moustakas. Not getting crazy there, but that's what I've got right now. Second base, I am high on Muncy today. He's my best Dodger bet to hit a home run. I actually really like him today. I will have some exposure to a Glaber, a LeMahieu here and there. But overall, not really my favorite position. I do like Jonathan India, but again, pretty chalky. We're going to have some chalk there. Luis Urias, too good to be 2,900. Paredes, those are the guys I guess you sort of want to use as cash games and whatnot. Patrick Wisdom being the highest owned third baseman makes him a guy I want to fade more than I am, but I'm still okay because it's going to be a little spread out. You're going to have some Brandon Drury's in there. You're going to have some Urias. And then I'm higher on Moustakas a little bit today than maybe the field is. I also like Matt Chapman quite a bit and Brian Hayes. Shortstop. Trey Turner is clearly, I think, probably my favorite because I think there's stolen base upside against Musgrove. Other than that, I really like Bo Bichette and I really like Wander Franco. Those would be my guys. My outfielders that I've got, I like Judge a lot as a one-off. I think that you could make that argument for a lot of Yankees today. Maybe a little 2 or 3 man was not the worst idea. I don't think you need to go fully crazy except for the Cincinnati, Chicago, the ones that might go up completely off. Like Springer a lot. I like Ian Happ a ton. I like Jesse Winker, Lourdes Gurriel, maybe a little lower ownership on those guys. Bellinger will be unowned. I'm going to play some Bellinger and Harold Ramirez. Those are sort of my favorites at each position. Yeah, I think Tampa Bay is an interesting stack. Like it's one I prefer as a mini, but I think you're okay if you want to go for a full stack there. I just don't personally love the full stacking on this particular slate, unless it's going to be, if I was doing a 5-man, it's going to be Toronto or either team in the Wrigley game. You got great wins in Wrigley. And like I said, I am playing some Kyle Hendricks, but I am mostly playing the Cincinnati side of that situation. And it's only to try and get different. And where I'm playing Hendricks, I'm stacking the Cubs, hopefully get out to the lead, pitches comfortably. Certainly has the upside in the leash to get you there, even though it's not a great situation. It's a great matchup, actually. It's just a matter of you got this extreme weather that's going to help these hitters out for a guy who pitches to contact. It does make me a little bit nervous. For what it's worth, Kikuchi has another reason to like Tampa Bay is Mark Wegner, probably the third or fourth best hitters umpire in baseball, is in that game. And I think you could argue that gives an extra little bump to the Toronto-Tampa Bay side of things. I think both those teams are more viable with just the only extreme umpire on the slate, being an extreme hitters umpire, especially with how Kikuchi's been struggling lately. So I'm getting more into that whole game in general. Pop in any questions. If there's nothing else, I'm going to get out of here because I went through all of my plays, basically. It's not a very big slate, so it doesn't take very long to do it. Please like and subscribe and all that stuff if you don't already. We had a payment processing issue, but we did give everybody free accounts for 10 days who was trying to sign up, and then they can sign up once we get this worked out. It's just a weird little hiccup that we're going to get worked out by tomorrow. Toronto Tampa Bay game stack. I can get behind it, paid and wavy. I'm okay with that. I don't think you're getting like crazy off the board, but again, everything else is sort of showing up for me as being like mid-tier owned. Like you look at the highest owned players, and this can't be right. We've got nobody above. No, that's wrong. That's the wrong number I'm looking at. Sorry about that. I'm on the wrong part. You got nobody above 20% though. Like, I mean, you pretty much can take your pick and not have to worry so much about ownership. I would encourage you to try and get some of those really low owned little value plays. If Upton's in the lineup, no one's going to play him. I'll take a shot there. I'll take a shot on Mazzara if he's in the lineup tonight. Vogelbach, I don't think, because the position's strong. I don't know if he'll be that owned tonight. David Bodie in a part of your Chicago Cubs stacks, he'll be a little lower owned. You can include Adam Frazier if you're making a full 5-man Seattle, although I'm not doing the 5-man with Seattle. I am doing some minis. Just throwing out some other value names that are sort of popping up. Ortega is going to be popular, but I think he's a reasonable play anyway. I mentioned Arias already. And so that's where pretty much I'm at. So pop in any thoughts. Favorite outfielder in the 2,500 range. Anytime I see a question, I'm always going to assume DraftKings, but please say which site you're talking about because I have no idea which one you're talking about. 2,500 or less on DraftKings for me is, let me just grab my notes here. And for an outfielder, Mazzara, Piscotty, or not really crazy about it, to be honest with you. Oh, Mazzara probably. Yeah, I'm not really crazy about that, to be honest with you. So don't love the minimum cost outfielders today. Oh, and FanDuel. Oh, I would never assume FanDuel, especially this early on. So I'm always going to assume the most popular site. On FanDuel, the value I would go for at 2,500. I think Ortega, Grisham, and Ramirez are all close. Maybe Grisham ends up a little lower on the other two, but they're all going to have some ownership. I like all three of those guys quite a bit at 2,300. So Ortega depends on who else you're stacking, but I do think Ortega is probably the best play at under 2,500. Look at Sheets' name in the chat there. Game stack Tampa Bay and also use Milwaukee and New York. I like it, Sheets. Good luck, buddy. Hopefully a big win for Sheets in the Hamptons. Hopefully we can do another 1-2 type of situation, even though we've got a little bit different stacks, so it'd be very strange to do today. Seattle stack on DK. I'm absolutely on board with it. I'm not playing the full 5-man myself, but I understand if you want to. Rody says, let's get it. Sounds good to me. I'm in on all that. So I want to make some money tonight, guys. I'm going to get out of here in just a minute unless there's any more questions, and I will be in Discord the rest of the day. So let's make some money, y'all, and good luck. Hopefully we'll see you at the top of the leaderboards.